Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Is This Any Good? And I'm your host, Mr. Foz. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the animation that has a lot of people talking about if you're into animation movies. I'm talking about Superman Red Son. Yes. Now, I don't know how to explain this, but I'm a very, very big fan of this particular movie. Reason because, first of all, I'm a comic buff. I mean, I've been reading comics since I was 6, and I've been following. Superman has been one of my major superheroes in terms of comic books, when it comes to DC comic books and all of that. And I can recall reading, I think it was like 4 years back or 3 years back, I read the Superman Red Son comic book, the story on it, and it was quite epic. And so I was very, 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 very excited to know that they were going to, turn the comic book into a movie, animated movie this year. And so I really wanted to see, because I wanted to see how true they were going to stay to the comic book, if they were going to take everything from the comic book and put it on the movie or remix some things, as it were. And so without further ado, let me just break it down for you. For those of you who probably haven't read the comic book. Now, this Superman Red Son is more or less like a what-if situation. What if Superman never landed in Smallville? What if his spaceship never landed in Smallville? What if he landed in USSR? To be more specific, Russia. Will he grow up to be the same Clark Kent, the same Man of Steel everybody loves, or will he be evil? Now, that's basically what this movie talks about. If for any of you who have been following DC animation movies, you know that 80% of DC animated movies rather, are better than their real life movies. True or false? And they are also better than Marvel animated movies too. I mean, DC gets it right when it comes to animation. They don't hold back. There's violence, there's maturity, everything. So it's, their cartoons or the animated movies are well balanced, so to say. So basically, you have Superman is voiced by Jason Isaacs, yes. And you have Batman. Batman is also voiced by Roger Smith Craig. And you have Wonder Woman, who's also voiced by Vanessa Marshall and a host of others. You have there's a whole lot of people, but just different realities. You have Hal Jordan from Green Lantern, you've got Lex Luthor, you've got Lois Lane, obviously. And the twist here is Lois Lane is actually married to Lex Luthor. Oh, yes. So you see the whole twist, because she's an American and Superman is in Russia. So basically, the way everything is set up is that Superman ends up on a farm, in Russia, and discovered by a family, and he grows up pretty well, but his powers start to manifest when he's about 12 years old, I think, or thereabouts. And he decides to, with the counsel of his friend, he decides to use his powers to help Mother Russia. And obviously the government absorbs him in, and he starts to do government jobs, more or less keeping the peace and everything. But along the line, he discovers that the USSR government, or the president as it were, which was, I think, was Stalin, who was the president at that point, has some shady things that he's doing. I mean, he's keeping, he has people that he's forcing to mine, and Superman is not happy with the way things are. That's on Russia's front. While in America, the Americans they're afraid. And so the American president or the American government, they want their own version of Superman, because they feel like, right now in real life, it's the nuclear war. It's which country has more nuclear heads. So in this animated movie, it's which country has more superpowers. And Russia has the best. Obviously, they have Superman. So the US government contract Lex Luthor to create their own version of Superman, and that introduces Bizarro. Yes, I'm sure you guys know who Bizarro is. Yes, the clone version of Superman and all of that. So basically, it's like I said, it's pretty well done. I like it, but there are some discrepancies that I didn't pretty much like. They didn't really fall follow the comic book, word for word, story for story per se. Quick example. In the comic book, Wonder Woman literally falls in love with Superman, but Superman tells her he's not into any of that. But in the movie, Superman tries to make a move on Wonder Woman. She plays him and says, no, that she is into girls. So you can see there's a whole twist and turn there. Also, at the end, I think it was a bit rushed, maybe because, obviously the comic book was longer. So the way they brought in Brainiac, because Brainiac is like the real villain in this movie. The way they brought in Brainiac, the way, it was a bit, they didn't explain it well. And the way they killed him was a bit rushed compared to the comic book. But aside that, it was amazing. Batman was just mean. Now, let me tell you how Batman is. Batman in this story is Russian. And obviously he was part of the people that Stalin's government were oppressing. And so he had this natural hatred for the government, and he just looked at Superman because Superman was working for Stalin, so he hated all of them together. And so he grows up to be Batman to destroy everything. Now, when I say everything, let me fast forward back. You can recall that I talked about Superman not being happy with the way Stalin was, ruling, was oppressing people. And so Superman commits murder. Yes, the Superman of Russia commits murder and decides to take over Russia and says he's going to lead Russia because he can see that human beings are not capable of taking care of themselves, per se. And that's where the whole drama starts to unfold. He starts to put down his own type of law. In as much as he means well, but other people are not seeing it that way. People are scared and, generally scared and everything. And so there's a clash. Lex Luthor tries to, destroy him. Batman, who is in Russia, tries to destroy him. And so he tries to, he really can't see, he's trying hard to see why these people are against me when all I'm trying to do is just bring peace to the world. So I like the conflict. You can see his conflict of emotions, like he's trying to do better, but people, so like I said, DC cartoons are really, really nice because they sort of have this touch reality where they can, literally just tell you, okay, this is how you can somehow relate it to real life. So it's not all, balloons and happiness, So like I said, it's a bit realistic if you look at it from an alternative reality. So amazing. I'm just talking blah, 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 blah. You should go and see this movie. It's an amazing movie. Superman Red Son. For better more, if you can get the comic book, you should read the comic book before you watch it. But even if you watch it without the comic book, you still love it. But just for, if you have the opportunity to get the comic book, read it and also watch the movie and you will appreciate it even further. Amazing work from DC. I mean, I've been hyped all through last year when I heard that they were going to do this. And so watching it and if I was going to rate it, I would say it's 8 over 10. And that means you didn't really do bad. So it's pretty good. So you should see it. And if you see it, let me know in the comment section below if you like it or not. And I will catch you on the next episode.